Hey guys, welcome back, and today we're going to be doing a Christmas theme building behind the scenes. Building behind the scenes is where I take, in this case, a bunch of Christmas movies, and each one will be a specific room or part of the house. And while I'm building that section of the room, I give you guys facts about the movie, whether it be makeup, the set, how the story came to be, anything and everything that I find interesting during the process of the movie being made. And because Christmas, what better way to celebrate than with Christmas movies? So that is what we're going to be doing today. All of the movies that are chosen for each room is randomized. I ask my phone to pick a number 1 through whatever number I am on, and that is what determines which movie gets which room. The movies we have in today's build are Deck the Halls, Edward Scissorhands, The Santa Claus, Christmas with the Cranks, Krampus because I couldn't help myself from putting a horror Christmas movie within the mix, and Frosty the Snowman. Alright, so with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the build. Starting off, let's see who's going to be on the outside of the house. Number 2, so that means we have Edward Scissorhands as the outside of the house. And honestly, that's a pretty strong start. I have a pretty good idea about what my plan is for the outside of the house. I'm going to go off of what the street looked like in Edward Scissorhands, with every house being a very bright and distinct color, with accents of metallic blacks and metals for Edward himself. And the house that Edward gets brought to is a pretty pale blue. And then it looks like all of the columns are just big, thick boys, big chunky boys like this.
I think Moto likes you.
I like them chunky. I like them big.
So I might just go with this. Edward Scissorhands is the first movie that Johnny Depp and Tim Burton had worked on together. Edward's hands were designed by makeup artist and special effects artist Stan Winston. It was his decision to use real scissors as his fingers instead of just pieces of scissors. Tim Burton had originally thought that they would just be like long metal shards as his fingers, but when Stan Winston brought him the design with his fingers being actual scissors, Tim Burton fell in love with the idea and said, yes, that's what we're going with. I know this is a lot of windows, but I'm doing it how I always do it. I add a bunch of windows in, and then when I get inside and start fixing it, I take a lot of windows out and put a lot of smaller windows in, so that's just like for the meantime, so I have windows in place. Now I'm just gonna do this little patio area. I'll put some bonsai trees to trim in there for Edward's works of art, so he can go in and trim them up all fancy. And then just a little seating area over here. And then, just for funsies, I'm gonna put this poodle topiary will go here. This could also be a dog. I know it's a cat, but same. For when Edward is a dog groomer for a short amount of time. And then for the outside walls of the house, that's all I can do. So let's go ahead and move on to the yard. Frosty the Snowman. This will be interesting because I am in build mode and I don't think I can change it to snow, and if I can, I don't know how. So I'm going to do my best to depict Frosty the Snowman without using snow. The more I'm doing this, the more I'm feeling like putting like a little gate around everything. I feel like I never use fences for my house. I don't have much of a reason other than I want to. So that's why we're doing it. It also kind of looks like that guy from Adventure Time.
I wish for a back rub. Who's gonna give it to you? Dirty man? A bear?
Okay, so from up here, it kind of looks like buttons, and I like where that's headed. Frosty's buttons are black. I didn't think we're actually going to be replicating Frosty, but here we are. I'm kind of tempted to put a little circle over here now. There might be one in this orange. Wow, it's even got some sort of like a carrot texture. And I could use rocks. Okay, I'm using rocks. I'm using this one. I mean, I know it's directly on the nose, but I mean, it's cute. It looks like a snowman, and I'm keeping it. That's a little morbid for it being frosty and there's melted snow. I mean, he does. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I am doing it. In Frosty the Snowman, most of the time, Frosty has 4 fingers, except for when he's counting to 10. He has 5 fingers for the brief moment that he's counting on his fingers, and then he puts them back, and then they just disappear within his finger. So it's like they wanted him to have 4 fingers, but then he started counting, and then they went away for a brief second, and then he had 4 fingers for the rest of the show. That's all I can do for Frosty the Snowman being on the outside. So now we're going to be traveling inside, and I'm gonna do this mud room, I guess, over here into this hallway. They're both going to be the same. So let's go ahead and see who gets that area. Christmas with the Cranks. I'm just gonna have this look like a regular house. In Christmas of the Cranks, they are trying to skip Christmas because they want to go on a cruise, or they plan on going on a cruise instead. So they don't decorate until the very end. And so I'm just going to have it how it is in the majority of the movie, or they're just sort of ignoring decorating. A little shoe rack. Also put the umbrellas here, even though Luther forgets his umbrella and has to run in the rain in the beginning of the movie because it's pouring rain and he has to run into the store. Okay, and then on this table, I'm going to put a little Frosty that the entire neighborhood puts on their roof. And because the Cranks refuse to put it on their roof, it's a whole big thing about them freeing Frosty. So I'm going to put a little Frosty in a little jail cell over here. All right, there we go. Frosty is in his jail cell. Oh my, what did I make? Oh no. Look at Frosty in his little jail cell. Look at him.
Free Frosty, free Frosty. They want Frosty? They do not get Frosty.
We had to add curtains to block out the peeping neighbors who try to see where all of our Christmas decorations are. Stay out, neighbors. I know people don't use hoses inside, but they need them near their front door in order to spray down carolers. So that's going there. But that's the neighbor's cat. And the cat always does go across the street, even though Luther keeps kicking him. So we're gonna put a no cats mat down. Also, this isn't a whole ham for the Hickory Henny Ham debacle. And also the swimsuits that the models in the ad wear are the exact same swimsuits that Luther and Nora wear to go tanning. The movie is based on a John Grisham book called Skipping Christmas, which is also the name of the headline in the news article that Luther and Nora appear on when they are seen in the mall tanning, and it's like a whole news article. That is it for the Christmas with the Crank hallway, so let's pop over to the living room and see what movie gets that. Krampus is getting the living room. So we are getting the dark and demure for the living room. I love it. I love to see it. I kind of go for a wood with the walls and then possibly also the flooring. One, because it's, of course, you know, a darker color and it fits with the theme. Towns across Eastern Europe have Krampus parades, and there are specialists who make the Krampus costumes and masks. And the masks are typically made from wood. And they're all intricate and handmade. And they look so cool. And I want to represent that. Put a Christmas tree, but make it spooky. I like the way this looks. It's more of like a traditional-esque fireplace. Have a nice little side couch over here for the fireplace. And then in this little corner over here, we can put that little demonic thing. Yeah, that thing. Perfect. I feel like this specifically should be a different color so he stands out. Ooh, yeah, like that brown. That's nice. I like that. And contrary to what certain books or movies say, Krampus actually doesn't come out on Christmas Eve. In most legends, he comes out on the night of December 5th, also known as Krampusnacht. I don't think I pronounced that correctly. However, it is the eve of St. Nicholas Day. So it is said that Krampus comes out and he messes with all of the bad children. He beats them with branches. He might kill them. He might also put you in a bag and drown you in water. But then comes the celebration of December 6th, which is the kids surviving. And then that's what the parades also celebrate. So it's the people in Krampus costumes, and they go around and they mess with people. They whip them with sticks, and it just looks like chaos from what I can see in the videos. But it looks like a lot of fun, to be quite honest. The whole like getting whipped by sticks by people in Krampus costumes doesn't necessarily seem like the best time, but like the overall experience is what I'm talking about. That seems like fun. And with that, Krampus's room is finished. And I'm going to go ahead and move over here into the kitchen. The Santa Claus. So we're going from something super dark to full-blown Christmas explosion. Kind of fits perfectly because it's the only movie I have centered around Santa Claus, oddly enough. Everything else is a Christmas movie that follows somebody who's not Santa Claus. And so the fact that Santa Claus got the kitchen and it's where the cookies are made and everything, it kind of fits, oddly enough. It makes a lot of sense. And with Santa Claus, of course, it is mainly red and white. And even though at first, in the beginning of the movie, he is Scott Calvin, he is still wearing a lot of red and white. And even like the pajamas he gets from the first time in the North Pole are red. There's this little like shape before the dining room. Okay, let me put a door in first. It's just a dining room. You could put an archway. Okay. I could do like a little table. Ooh, I'm gonna do like a beverage station. You could do tables, but I want to use counters. Put that there. Maybe make this one the corner. So it sort of like funnels into the, okay. So say instead of that being coffee, it's like a hot chocolate dispenser. And then get the little cake dish. Then we have that there, and then we have teas and stuff over here if you don't want hot chocolate, if you want tea instead. When Santa Claus was first written, it was on the basis that Bill Murray was going to play the leading role as Scott Calvin. However, Bill Murray turned it down because he felt that it didn't match his sense of humor. And when Tim Allen was the final decision to play the role instead of Bill Murray, Disney had to bend the rules a little bit for him. Because they have a rule in place that states that they don't hire ex-cons, and this includes anything for their movie productions as well. And this was an issue before filming because in 1978, Tim Allen was arrested in Michigan for possession of cocaine. I'm not sure what made Disney sort of change the rules for Tim Allen playing Santa Claus, but they did, and that's how he was able to get the role. And I'd say this is a pretty decked out kitchen, and I'm not sure if it's able to hold much else. So with that, I am going to move on to the dining room. Deck the halls. I'm not sure quite yet what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to go ahead and start off with just making the dining room, and then from there I can go ahead and see what I want to add. I know there's going to be a bunch of Christmas lights in here, or at least as many as I can find to put up, because the movie's based around Danny DeVito and Matthew Broderick's character butting heads and trying to one-up each other with their Christmas lights displays. And Danny DeVito's whole mission is that his lights can be seen from space, which in real life wouldn't be possible because the lights wouldn't be bright enough, and there's also so much light pollution that it just wouldn't be possible. But hey, movies are movies for a reason. And on the topic of lights, Danny DeVito's house used LED lights opposed to traditional Christmas lights because the lighting display they were looking to achieve was only possible by using the LED lights. Okay, I'm going to try something here. Say put columns in, and then I can go ahead and sort of hide. We're gonna have 4 seats. We're gonna sacrifice seats for lighting, which seems like something Danny DeVito's character would do, so that's what I'm doing. I have a plan, don't worry. And in the scene where Matthew Broderick and Danny DeVito speed race as like a competition, Matthew Broderick had to train with a professional speed skater a few months before filming. So he was performing some of his own stunts during that scene. Put some more lights in here. And that just about does it for the Deck the Halls dining room. And that's where I'm going to leave it for this part of Building Behind the Scenes Christmas Movie Edition. I am going to be continuing on to part 2, so the upstairs of the house, tomorrow on Christmas. So don't forget to watch the second part. Let me know what your favorite room of the build is so far, and also what you are looking forward to in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in part 2. Bye!